Hello, my name is Joe Esposito. I live in Owasso, Oklahoma. I've lived here 19 years. I'm just going to do a little show and tell today about pulsed, non-ionizing microwave radiation, which we've all become immersed in the sea of. And I have a $1,000 gigahertz meter. It's an HFE 35C. This is about a $1,000 meter, and it can detect radiation. Most people don't even know that you can detect this radiation. And so I just want to show you the sources out where I live. I'm actually north of Owasso on the city limits. But there's health issues. I have a 1972 Navy military document. It's 2,300 studies of 5 pages of health symptoms. And since people have never been told this, I think it would be wise to help people understand what's happening to them physiologically when they're being exposed to these multi-sources of radiation, including a smart meter. Okay, this is the south side of my home, and this is where we're getting hit with the most radiation that I just showed you on the readings. First of all, I just put aluminum screen wire on the brick part. That made a huge difference. Remember that first day we took off the smart meter and put the analog on, and we had no meter on the house, and the radiation levels were just, pagan where my wife laid her head. And so that helped, but just recently I had to put it, up there higher on the house, on that eave up there, which helped. And then I've learned, because the antenna on the hospital's higher and that cell tower's higher, that I had to put it on the roof too. And I've started that process. And it's the most amazing thing, because it was pulsing inside my walls, going through the walls into my house, in my daughter's room, and in our bedroom, and in the bathroom there. And extremely high levels. And so when I started putting this wire, especially on the roof, we've knocked it down to where it's like 4 or 5 microwatts in our bedrooms right now. And so my wife has been sleeping on the couch for I don't know how long a period of time. And just this 2, 3, or 4 days ago, we started this roof project. And now she's able to move back into our bedroom and sleep at night for the first time in a bed. She was sleeping on the couch, and I slept out in the living room behind where that meter was, in a recliner in a Faraday cage. And the Faraday cage is 0.1, which is very safe. And you have also, I can read you all the health symptoms, but you have, stabbing joint pains, and my hands were hurting, and like I told you, my teeth and my leg. And it just makes a huge difference when you get the radiation off you. You'll fix really quick. And you don't need a pharmaceutical, you don't need a doctor to tell you, and most of them don't understand it. But once if I would say people are having any kind of health issues right now, stop the radiation, get it off you, then let's see where you're at. And that's what I try to tell people, the first thing to do. But you can see what I've started doing here. And people say, they kind of laugh at you a little bit, but they don't have a $1,000 meter. They can't read this stuff. I can. Your normal body, if you're not sensitive, you can't feel, touch, see, or taste this stuff, or hear it. Then they have not really studied any documents. I've studied documents now for the last year and a half. Last November the 7th of 2012, my wife and I were listening to Dr. Klinghardt, Dietrich Klinghart's 43-minute YouTube, Health Crisis of Our Time, smart meters. And I learned right then what was happening. And so I've been doing that for a year and a half now. I've got lots and lots of documents. I've been to the state legislature. I've been all over the state of Oklahoma, helping people try to learn how bad it is so they can mitigate, because at night where you sleep, it's got to be below 5 microwatts, as low as you can get it, because your melatonin won't activate. Because like when you have a Wi-Fi running or you have smart meters going on, that's just like light to your eyes, like the sun, like right now. So it tells your pineal gland to just don't make any melatonin to do body repair. And so now at night, that radiation acts just like light to your eyes, because you can't stop it from coming through. And so then that makes the melatonin not come out, and you can't repair. So people get sicker and sicker and sicker. It doesn't take long. All this is really pretty new. All these smart meters, 2010, 2011, all this stuff started coming. The power PSO never told us. All they said is, here's a smart meter, be happy, and we're going to save you money. That was it. We asked not to be in the program. We called them, and the guy said to me, well, your wife may have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, you tell her that. I'm not telling her that. And who in their right mind can do anything like that? And so we didn't want to be a part of any of it. And then here it is in my house. I've gone to work one day. They just put it on while the house was hot and loaded. You know, no one turned anything off inside like they're supposed to do. They just put it on. And so it took me a while to learn it when I listened to Dr. Klinghardt. And I see it's so devastating that I've stopped everything. And it's not, I've learned guys like Jerry Flynn in Canada, 26 years, military veteran. His expertise was microwave radiation warfare. I've got his PowerPoint, 313 some slides. I've got Barry Trowler from the UK, 2 doctorates in microwave radiation and 1 in physiology. And they were all Cold War guys. They were experts in microwave radiation. They did it all. And they've come out of retirement. They're telling people, they travel the world at their expense trying to tell people. And Barry was in Portland, Oregon at school giving his testimony how bad this radiation is. There's none of it any good. That's the problem. We just haven't been told that. And there's health issues associated with all this. And Barry Trowler will even tell you that these frequencies that they are using back in the Cold War on the enemy is what these frequencies are being used on us right now. So it's not good. It's a bad thing. But people don't know about it because they've never been told. But we have military documents going back to 1932. They knew about how bad this was back in 1932 on Jerry Flynn's PowerPoint. There was a court case in 2007 in Alaska. There's 3 little YouTubes I sent out pertaining to that, and it's the agent for an insurance company trying to teach the agents in the field about this radiation. In that court case of 2007, the Supreme Court in Alaska awarded this gentleman full disability because what they're doing now, if you'll notice, they're putting all these panels, these cell tower panels on these 1-story buildings. And so you got third-party workers. You got painters and roofers and landscape people, and they're all getting fried out there. They don't know it, a lot of them, but they are. And this guy knew it, and so he got full disability for being hurt from this radiation. And it's hurting people. And they say it's not, but it is, because they won't fess up and they won't tell the truth about what this stuff is doing. And so that's why I've taken the time to educate myself so I can educate others about how bad this radiation is and what it's causing to our health. That's the biggest issue, is our health. And bees, like I told you, it's killing bees. Anything biological. And there's a guy named Curtis Bennett up in Canada, thermoguy.com. He's even telling you that these frequencies are creating micro earthquakes in concrete structures. So it's destroying buildings and bridges and all those kind of things, because this was never meant to be exposed like this. Electricity was meant to be in wires, not to be out of wires. And so they're exposing all of everybody. So we're being electrocuted, you would say, from all this, because that's exactly, there's no circuit anymore, there's no wire. So we're in it, we're attenuating. Your DNA is attenuating. When they started these frequencies, the utilities, they bought onto it because the government was handing out the money, I suppose. But they didn't consult with engineers, they didn't consult with building personnel, they didn't consult with all these environmental groups about what these frequencies were going to do to everything. They just did it. And so, I mean, now we're having to fight to try to stop it and get people awakened to what's happening. So this is all new technology. Just look at the maps of Wi-Fi about 2 or 3 years ago were nothing like they are now. Now they're Wi-Fiing and radiating everybody. There's home grade and commercial grade. Now we're learning. As we go out into the country, they don't have wired systems, and so now they're blasting the countryside, everybody out there, with Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz and 5.5 gigahertz. I can't read that, it's just only goes to 2.7. But we've got people now that are extremely sick, good readings around their house, but they're being blasted with this 5.5 gigahertz. This one lady has got in the crosshairs of these 2 different providers. And so she's really being damaged with her health. And she didn't realize it until we started telling her about this radiation problem. So it's a huge problem, and so we're just trying to educate people and help them understand about multi-sources of radiation. And the only way to really know what's happening in your home is to have somebody read it and tell you what's happening, because you can't see or feel or touch it. And so the stories can go on because I've been to a lot of places, but people really need to know because we're being damaged physically, our families and our animals and the biological life around us.